Hey guys, and welcome to episode 51 of the Garage Athlete Show. It's myself and Dan in a
What's up,
hot,
guys?
humid. I'm getting a bit fed up of this humidity now. I don't mind the heat and the sun. It's just.
Look, if I just go there, I look fucking jacked out of my mind. Look, I'm
Yeah.
so strong. But then we won't look at the gut. We won't look. Yeah. You see, here's my theory. I don't train traps, and I probably never will, because I'd never felt I needed to. Mine kind of grow anyway.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: can you have? What's the crack with traps and bodybuilding? I feel I look still like a rugby player. Like I'm like this, and I'm thinking, if I was to spend time training traps, maybe I should spend time doing something else to balance out my physique a bit more. What do you think, Don, the bodybuilding king?
It's one of those things. I think you've done a lot of heavy pulling, which naturally will build up your traps. I don't know if you have ever had it. So I find it with female lifters all the time because they've got really short clavicles. Soon as you start getting them deadlifting, like their traps just pop up out of nowhere, just because they're involving their entire kind of like posterior chain. So I think if you've naturally got shorter clavicles, you'll find that it's easier. You just have to deadlift, and then your traps just kind of like pop up. Whereas for me, I'm quite short, but like my clavicle bones are quite long, so it's taken me a long time to get any sort of trap like thing. Like I just had no when I played rugby. I've got a really big bone where I can't remember the names of the acromion process or whatever that's here. It always used to stick out loads. It's only just starting to disappear now after like 10 years of training shoulders to try and put some muscle on there. So
you see, to me, that's like that's I know exactly the look you're talking about, and to me, I'm like, that is just like the telltale side of someone that maybe isn't, I don't really be not being a dick, but like not a strength focused athlete, or someone that's compress a lot but has been more focused on dieting. But you can really see it where it's just like the shoulder bone sticking out, like collarbone. I just think it just looks naff. I'm like, if you can, like, you like, it's not, yours isn't visible now, it's like build that muscle on top of it. It just looks so much fucking better. And if we're talking purely aesthetics and what, you know, same sex, opposite sex, like time and time again, it's shoulders, shoulders, shoulders. So if you've got them little bony shoulders, mate, come on, you need big set of shoulders for people to grab onto, right?
Yeah.
Says the man. I look like I'm naked right now. I'm not actually wearing much clothes. I've got a pair of shorts and I'm sitting in the garage because I've just finished training.
I've got the limited edition home gym stringer going on.
Mate, that's nice.
I know. So I was saying to me and Jay, were just having a conversation. So obviously he's doing these t-shirts, and I was trying to convince him to like let me launch a product. So I was like, let me do it, and he was umming and ahhing about it. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get some testers made. Went online, got some, and then we put out the feelers of who likes vests, and turns out nobody likes frigging stringers. So I was like, screw you guys, I've got two for myself. You can have your tank tops. I'm going to have this. It's fine.
It's because it screams of Gymshark and wannabe Instagram model. That's why. And I guess you got to back yourself with the physique to wear it. But I don't own any strings. I'm a big fan at the moment because I'm back into fucking metal music, like heavy music again. And the look is, you got to cut your sleeves off. You've got to do it in a certain. Way. So it's not just the same, but you're like kind of do this like. Some people got it down to an art form where they can do it really well with the cutouts. But I'm learning as I go. But if you go too far,
there is a video on YouTube by Joe DeFranco.
I'm gonna get it up.
Basically, the key is to turn it inside out before you cut it. And then when you cut it, the rolls like roll inside, so then it's really, really neat. He shows you like how to do the cuts and everything properly. So I've got a couple of t-shirts that I've cut into essentially tank tops, because basically the t-shirts were far too big, and I was just like, fuck this, you can't see the gains, so I cut the sleeves off.
Oh mate, I've got one here. I'll watch this one first. From Caffeine and Kilos.
Nice.
Nothing remotely similar to barbells and beans. And they've got how to cut the t-shirt off. Hang on, hurry up. Fucking YouTube out. Do you know what? I'm this close. I'm this close to buying YouTube Premium, whatever it's called, because the adverts are just killing me. And this is, they do it on purpose, but they're relentless.
Oh yeah.
And now,
and like, so I've there's a couple of podcasts that I listen to on YouTube that are only on YouTube, and it's like an hour-long show, but every like 15 minutes there's that 2-break thingy, and I'll be like, I'll be driving. I'm like, I can't even skip it because I'm driving.
Like, yeah, I mean, of course they're doing it on purpose, right? Because they want you to pay for premium. But my God, it's annoying. Like, it's just.
Well, we watched something on ITV Player. Was it Marcella? Like, Natalie's into those murder mystery like cop shows. But on ITV Player, you get like proper ad breaks where it's 3 minutes of adverts. Like, we've not watched 3 minutes of adverts. So it's like, like on normal telly where you'd get like 3 minutes of adverts. But like, because we record everything, we watch everything on Netflix. So like, I'm ended up on my phone because it's 10 adverts. Each advert's 30 seconds. It's like, how did we ever put up with so much like time in between shows before you could record it and fast forward them?
I was thinking the other day, right? Like, I completely forgot I had a TV license. Like, it's just one of those things you pay, isn't it? Well, I'm sure most people pay or not. But I was just like, I don't even watch the BBC. Like, do I need one?
You have to, if you watch anything live. So even if you're on your laptop and watch like football live, you have to pay a TV license.
Do you remember
they're going to get rid of it soon. 100%.
I hope so, man. It's just fucking shit. But do you remember when streaming first came out and all the kids at uni were just like, well, I obviously don't need a TV, and they just watched everything streamed. And then suddenly, I think the BBC were like, oh crap, you need TV license for doing that. So I was like, of course you do.
Well, they'd send all those things to the uni halls, and basically people were just like, just don't pay it. Like, they have to come and ask your permission to come in to search your property. Just say no. Just be like, no, I've got a girl here.
Yeah, right.
Fuck off.
Do you now? Do you know? Okay. Big man at uni.
No comment.
Does Nat listen to the podcast as well? Are you being all shy?
No, she knows about my sordid past.
My sordid past back in the day.
Just completely open. The thing is, like, the girlfriend I had before this, I didn't tell her, but then she found out from my friends, and it became like a massive argument of like, well, why did you lie to me? Why did you need to cover it up? Blah blah blah. And I was like, because I didn't want to have this that's going on right now. So with that, I was just honest, and she was just like, okay.
Oh yeah, shit. When's the crack with your wedding then? When's that happening?
April next year, April 14th. So the venue we've got, so like different tiers in terms of like the cost. So like if you get married between January and May, it's like the cheapest rate. May, June, July is the most expensive. Then August, September, October is also quite expensive. And then like November, December. Yeah, they're in 3-month blocks, basically. We're in the first block. And then like Monday to Thursday is one rate. Friday is one rate. Saturday is one rate. And Sunday is one rate. Like Saturday and Sunday being the most expensive. We've gone for the Thursday before Easter. So all our guests get a 5-day weekend because they've got a day off for the wedding, Good Friday, then Saturday, Easter Sunday, and then Bank Holiday Monday. So we were just like, yeah, we'll give you a 5-day weekend. It's fine. And it works out as the cheapest because it's on the Thursday in April. So Natalie was very, very clever when she thought of that. However, whether we are going to be out of lockdown by then is going to be, not out of lockdown, just out of measures by then is yet to be seen. I'm not sure.
April next year. Oh my God, I think I'll jump off a bridge if we're not. Oh God.
I don't know. It's one of those things with them. If you remember when we first went into measures, it was like, right, 3 weeks to flatten the curve. And then it was just to see out this next bit. And then it was, right, you just got to wait until Christmas. You need to get Christmas out of the way. And then New Year out of the way. And then it's till just March again. And they just keep, it's one of those things, if they say, right, we're going to be in and out of lockdown for 5 years, everybody will be rioting. Whereas with them, yep, just this next little bit, you just need to stay calm and just keep going for this next little bit. And it keeps the masses subdued. But
well, maybe we need to get a fucking riot going, because I don't want to be about that life in fucking every few months. I'm gonna fucking burn something down.
I can't see you as a rioting type.
Yeah, I might do. I might do.
Right, okay. Question.
Moving on.
Rioting, looting, what is the first shop you go for?
This is a good question. I'll go raid the middle aisle at Lidl.
So you. That is so you.
Mate, I went there today, right? Picked up a couple of tomahawk steaks, right, for Father's Day, you know, boom, treat myself and all that. You do you, hun. But then there was an advert, right, for it's what can be described as like an underwater like jet, like handheld that you hold.
I know what you're on about. Yeah. So you the kid. They're designed for kids, but again, you can use them. But yeah, you hang on to them underneath the water, and it's like you're a mermaid essentially.
Yeah, basically, it blew my mind. I was like, I didn't know I wanted that, but now I can't think of anything else. Like they got me at the. This is what
the home gym group is for me. Like things appear on there, and I'm just like, I didn't even know that existed 5 minutes ago, and now I must have it.
Mate, I'm like, I need it. Like, it just looks so cool. But then there's another like rattan garden. Fuck, there's a mosquito in my garage. I'm gonna fucking kill that bastard. There's a rattan furniture set I want to buy. There was a TV the other day. I was like, I'll have that. There was even a welder, mate. You could buy a welder in the middle aisle. Like you, if you wanted to, could buy that welder for 75 quid, Parkside, of course, and build yourself a rack, mate. Put it together. Boom.
Yeah.
All thanks to Lidl. And then you can get the rest of your tools there. I'm sure they probably sell some, I don't know.
They do at different times of the year. They sell tools, and Aldi as well. Aldi have got the same thing.
You see, I prefer the middle aisle of Lidl. Like I live basically next to Lidl. I think it takes me like 5 minutes to walk to one. But I live 5 minutes from a Lidl and 10 minutes from an Aldi. So you can tell it's competitive around here, and they know it. So Lidl have brought out coupons, and they brought out like an app as well. So I think they're ahead of the curve because they're sort of getting you before you get there.
You know, the guys who own Lidl and Aldi are brothers.
Hey, what, like a kind of Puma and Adidas?
They're German brothers, yeah.
I swear, Puma and Adidas are brothers, right?
Yes, I think so.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've just googled it, brothers, and then it's brothers Nazi. It's like, okay,
okay, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, totally. Oh, cool, mate. I just like, do you know, we talk about like, you know, like income. You get this in home gyms like Rogue, you know, Primal, Muscle Squad, that kind of thing. Like serious brand loyalty. Like people just love the brands. They're kind of, you're almost like in a position to buy before you even know it. Like you're primed to sell. Everything's warm. It's like they're like your mate sitting in your house, and they're like, "Oh mate, you should buy this." And you're like, "Yeah, go on, I'll buy that." So I am a serious, and I think like deadly serious, brand advocate of the German supermarket, to the point that I would probably wear their clothes. Like if I could get hold of a little like polo shirt, I would wear it. Just like around the house and shit. In fact, people were, what if there's any, I'm going to check if there's any, people are selling Lidl shoes. Like you can get hold of Lidl shoes on the internet. I think it was in Germany's, they were selling them. But I was like, oh, can you imagine? There they are. Right, can you open your messenger? I'll send them to you. Can you imagine rocking around your local, you know, gym or wherever you go, wearing a pair of little sneaks? Look at this, man. I'll just send it to your messenger. Hang on.
Nice. Yeah, they're in the colours and everything.
It's outrageous. But I wonder if they've got a mid-size. If they do, I'm buying it now. I'm not even kidding.
You have to put those on Instagram if you buy the buy some little trainers.
What size are they? Oh no, they've got them in 11 or 11 and a half.
You're going to squeeze
that
into
might
them.
fit. Nah, you know, I've made this mistake before. I'm a solid 47. I'm not a Euro 46. I've made this mistake. Oh, they're half a size too small. Oh no, mate, 40 quid. I'd buy that. Look at them hot sneaks, mate. Box fresh and that.
I don't spend 40 quid on Nike sneakers, so.
Oh mate, they sold for 13 euros originally.
13.
And now they're going for 50 quid on eBay. Someone's put them up for like 600 quid, but they're having a joke. Whereas on eBay they go for like 30 quid. Wow. But I'm basically like just ready to buy. But then I'll tell you about the troll of my inflatable kayak.
No.
Like basically, I'm desperate for an inflatable kayak. Lidl will sell this inflatable kayak for 40 quid, 2-person. I've got a lake like less than a mile from my house. I could be on that lake at 1 with the swans. Going around
I was going to say you do like a good swans. Checking in.
Oh mate, they're still there, mate. We got 5. We're all there. Mum, dad, 5 swans are all good. But then I was like, I need that little kayak. But then I went to 3 different Lidls in the area, and they'd all sold out. I was devastated. But like people get in there, and of course they've all whack them on eBay for like twice the price and all that crap. But this year, I'm going to be ahead of the curve, and I've already told Mads that I'm not parenting that morning. I'm standing outside Lidl at 7 a.m. ready for opening to get that kayak. Because I'm not having this again. I can't take the disappointment. I've been like I go to the shop and I ask them, "Have you got that kayak yet? Can you let me know when it's in?" And they look at me like I'm a mental person. And they're like, "Come on, like, what do you want about? Like, we don't know. We only found out the week before." I'm like, "You're lying to me. Tell me when the kayak's coming in." And of course, you're wearing a mask as well, so you have to get like real close to be like, when you have a kayak? Tell me when the kayak's coming. And they just think I'm a freak. And I was like, seriously, if that kayak comes in and you don't tell me, there's gonna be problems.
Yeah. Put one to that. I need to speak to the manager. I need one putting aside.
Oh, they won't do that, but I'll find a way. Like, I'm quite friendly with one of the chaps in there. I'm sure he'll hook me out. I was like, mate, when you put them out, don't put it out. But I need that kayak. It was like when I bought my barbecue, I literally had to like fight off grannies and like dudes to get it. I was sprinted to the end of the middle aisle to get my barbecue.
Brilliant.
It was amazing. Yeah.
It sounds it.
Speaking of which, I've been going on a freaking steak rampage recently. Like, my neighbour very kindly hooked me up because we've got a Miller and Carter down the road, and it had to close for 2 weeks because it got a positive test.
Right.
So they were chucking out all the steaks. So in like 4 or 5 days, I've eaten 3 T-bone steaks from like Miller and Carter just at home, and it's been like absolutely sensational.
Were they already marinated and everything that they put them in?
No, what I did is I dry brine them. So there's a few videos on YouTube about it. This is a good tip actually for anyone with a good thick. It doesn't work so well with thin cut steaks because as Chris found out with the moderators, when you do a thin cut steak and use table salt, which is really fine, it absorbs it like too much and it just becomes like a big salt fest. Whereas you got to use that like Maldon salt, that flaky salt. Yeah, get a big thick cut steak, as thick as you can find, basically. Cover it in that salt, put it on a cooling rack, leave it in your fridge for 24 hours, and it almost comes out like dry aged. Like, it gets rid of all the moisture of the meat and draws it back into the meat, inside of it. So when you're cooking it, you get a really nice crust. So it gives that really nice crust with a great steak, and it's super juicy. And like, I'll never go back to not doing that. To the much enjoyment of my wife, because I currently have a tomahawk about that thick marinating, but it's worth it. Absolutely, it's sensational. I need to drink. Actually, you've reminded me I don't drink enough water. In fact, I could probably get like 2 liters right now. This is
the 3rd one of these I've had today so far.
Oh, do you know what? When you drink water, and I salt my water. Do you use tablets or anything like that?
So I put in the first 2 liters. I'll put the effervescent vitamin tablets.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pop those in and a bit of table salt, and then it's just water after that. I normally only drink 4 litres, but in this heat, it's been closer to 5-6.
I think I drink like a litre a day. I need to sort that out. I'm terrible for dehydration. But I've noticed when you drink tons of water, from not drinking it, you just like drop like constantly. 2 kilos straight away. Yeah, which is obviously good if you just want some quick weight loss. But it's key in this heat. Like really, I know we talked about it in the group about salt in your water, a bit of fructose. Like did your mum ever make you that for when you played like rugby or things like that, where it was like orange juice watered down with a bit of salt?
They just used to bring lucozade, which is exactly the same thing.
Lucozade, mate. Do you remember there was a
period of time where,
yes, when everyone went nuts for lucozade and like powerades and like because I was in like canneries and stuff, it was always like floating around, just bottles and bottles and bottles of it. So we used to just neck it all the time. Like even as like kids training, I was like, I don't think taking in this amount of sugar for just sitting around is good for us. It wasn't. I mean, great for during lifting, but not so much just for walking around the training ground. But lucozade, God, I haven't had one of those.
What was it? I think it was. I can't remember what tournament it was that like Powerade like sponsored, and then it just went massive. And Powerade's owned by Coca-Cola, so you know that it's got a lot of sugar in it, and it was bright blue. Like how anybody thought something that was bright blue in color was probably going to be good for him.
Yeah, but that was it. The flavor was like it was just blue, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was the flavour, blue. Oh, speaking of Coke, do you see something like what Ronaldo did? He like moved a couple of Coke bottles, and apparently the share price has gone down by like 4 billion or something.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What happened?
The cat is literally massacring. I've already taken. He's brought 5 mice tonight.
God, he's a savage.
Absolutely. Oh, he's eating it. For God's sake! At least he's eating it. Like I don't have to go and clean it up. Yeah, he's killed and brought in 5. Not in. He's sat outside the window now, munching on this mouse. That's brutal. Like I don't know what we're doing. We're feeding him the right amount, but he's just constantly hungry, like constantly asking for food. And now he's going out and massive. We live right next to basically a farmer's field, so there is a lot of field mice out there for him to go and munch on. And he's doing his best to eat them all. I didn't want a cat. I wanted a dog. And Natalie made us get a cat, and now she hates the cat. And I'm just like, well, we can't get rid of him now because I don't believe in that. So we're stuck with a cat that just brings dead things all the time, fights constantly, is not very good at it. So I call him Scarface because literally he's got scars all over his nose. Like, brutal. He just bullies the dog as well.
Jeez. Yeah, cats are shit, man.
We hit 2,000 plays on Anchor. So,
mate, to our tens of listeners that listen to us on repeat, thank you so much.
Yes, we are absolutely ecstatic, and we just want to say a big thank you to everybody who tunes in each week to myself, Dan, and Rachel just chatting shit really for an hour at a time. Massive thank you to everybody who tunes in. Whether I think the majority of them are in the home gym group, but I know there's a few that aren't. So yeah, it's massive thank you to everyone who does listen every week. So I think we wanted to cover, because obviously it's a hot topic in the group at the moment, it's strategies when weight loss stalls. So for those that don't know, if you haven't been listening for the past couple of weeks, we are running a group training program. It's about 30 individuals in there, and I'd say the majority of them are trying to lose body fat, probably trying to build some muscle at the same time. And because we're about 3 weeks in now, we're starting to see the initial weight loss. So when you get a structure, get some accountability, and move more, you will start losing body weight. You will start losing body fat like very, very quickly. We've had it range from, I think the most I've heard somebody's lost is about 7 kilos. And then we've had other people that have just started to stall now. So yeah, it's a bit of a hot topic at the moment of like what to do when weight loss stalls. So I'm going to let Dan start on this one, and then I can put my 5 pence in.
Yeah, so whatever diet you do, there's going to be a point when you're going to have to change things. You're going to have to make something change because your body's going to try and achieve its homeostasis. So it's always going to be wanting to balance itself out where it doesn't want to make any changes. So when you're dieting, there will become a point where your body just kind of halts and it just stops. It could be for a number of reasons, but sometimes it happens because, as I said, I hate that expression, because your body doesn't want to change anymore. It's like, stat, I'm not moving. So what you have to do is look at strategies to sort that out. So there's two ways of looking at it. You can either add something in or you can take something away. So we had this discussion the other day because we were looking at strategies to use with people. For example, this week I've had 2 or 3 of my guys stall or stop for various reasons, and I've given a few different solutions for the same problem. So fellas are stalled, they're not losing fat anymore, or they stop. So what do we do? So we'll look at case A. So this chap has been dieting previously before we started, for a while. So he says he stopped. Seems relatively fit, healthy, training 4 times a week. 10k steps a day, easy, getting sleep in. That's all covered. But he's stalled. But his calories are already fairly low for the training amount he's doing. So knowing that his previous history of dieting before we started and where he's at, I've actually decided to increase his calories only slightly. We're not talking like, making him have a McDonald's a day or so. We're talking like maybe a couple of 100 calories.
Yeah.
But at the effort to just bump his metabolism up a little bit more. And I want to see what happens in a week. And I'm, pretty much almost put money on he's going to lose fat because I've seen it happen quite a few times. He's going to get the ball rolling again. So sometimes when you've been dieting for quite a while, normally once you get past about 12 weeks, that 12 to 16 week mark, that's when things start getting a bit sticky, when you start getting in danger of muscle loss and problems start happening for, relatively lean people trying to lose fat. If you've got a shit ton of weight to lose, you can probably diet for a year straight and be relatively okay. But even then, I would put in diet breaks. But that's something else we talk about. So yeah, the calories have bumped up a bit. So with the effort of boosting the metabolism a bit, Lane Norton's talked about this, over and over and over again on YouTube. There's tons of videos on it, reverse dieting, and I think it could be a good solution for them. And then we'll look at someone else who is relatively light, a lot going on in their lives, pretty stressful. They haven't changed body weight. They're still training consistently. Sleep is an issue, but there's nothing they can do about it. Life, kids, work happens. So instead of, I think I'm going to leave calories where they are because I've got a feeling there's some recomping going on. Just knowing this guy's training history and background, I'm going to say not to change things too quick because it's only been 2 weeks. And I think there's the fact they're lifting a lot more regularly now, protein's gone way up. And there's, they're being very consistent. I think there'll be some body comp changes going on. This person's like relatively light. So, getting too much smaller for their, height, size, all that kind of stuff, I don't think would be the best idea. So I think we're going to park on it, leave it another couple of weeks and see what happens. And then I've got, say, someone else who has stalled. So normally I would reduce calories, like bring them down. But we had a conversation the other day, and bear in mind you've been through prep. We both do this. I do fat loss, you do fat loss, but I'm always looking, that white belt mentality, better ways to do things. And instead, it was like, okay, well, why don't we add something in? I was like, okay, I like that. I like that tool of adding things in instead of just thinking I'm only going to train 4 times a week and do my steps, and then the only changes I'm going to make a diet. Why don't we? It might be more mentally easier, more rewarding, I'm not sure what the word is, to say, look, instead of taking something away, I'm just going to put in an extra cardio session, 20 minutes a hit, half an hour of walking. You did an article the other day on was it recharge about that. We can just add something in. you know, it's up to you which you want to choose, which suits you. So there you go. And then it's like, okay, well, that's another tool tick. So instead of saying, yeah, we're going to throw 5 sessions of cardio extra, we're going to walk all the time, we're going to get that weight off. It's like, no, we'll just put in 1. So you go from there. Then we can make it maybe 2, keep it there. If that then stalls, then we've got the option of calorie reduction down the road. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, probably very, very similar to what would be my train of thought in those situations as well. So yeah, if somebody had been dieting for a long period of time before they came to me, would always say to them, so yeah, take a diet break before starting, which they probably should have done. But again, we can say these things.
When we say diet break, I don't think we mean go crazy and eat everything in the world.
Binge, but yeah. So a diet break. So when I'm working with clients, like 1-to-1, normally I'll diet them for somewhere between 12 to 16 weeks, depending on how mentally strong they are. And also I try to tie a diet break in with like an event that's happening. So if it's their birthday, if they're going on holiday, or somewhere where actually having a few extra calories would probably help them out. Just because in the past I hadn't done that, gave somebody a diet break. They then had like their birthday the week after that, and then their brother's birthday the week after that. So they ended up doing like a 3-week diet break because it just all went out the window. So I was like, right, we need to tie in these events now. So what I normally do, if somebody's been dieting for like 12 weeks, as I say to them, like, right, you've got 1 like free evening. So take the night off tracking 100%. Like go out for a meal, go and make an occasion of it, but don't go to like an all-you-can-eat buffet. Excuse me, where you're going to eat like 4,000 or 5,000 calories, because that's going to undo a lot of the work that we've done. But go and have a nice meal, have a pudding if you've been like denying yourself sugar for like 12 weeks, have a beer if that's kind of what you want. And notice I'm saying have a singular. So
I don't understand what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, don't just be sensible with it. Don't go mental with it. If you eat an extra 500 calories, again, it's not going to do you any harm. You're probably just going to refill all those glycogen stores that we've been draining for the past 12 weeks. And then for anywhere from 5 to 14 days after that, we'll bump up their calories anywhere from 10 to 20%. So if they went into that week having just done a big drop, I'll normally bump it up closer to the 20%. So what I'll say to them is like, right, we're going into this final week. If I see you've had a big drop and you've been working really, really hard, you'll get more calories in your diet break. If we are plateauing off, we're probably going to be closer to that 10% mark. So I really need you to dig in deep, just because it normally gets a little bit more off just before they go into a diet break. And then, yeah, we'll bump their calories up somewhere between 10 and 20%. And they'll stay there for anywhere, as I said, from 5 to 14 days. Normally, at around the 7-day mark, that client is then going, right, what's the next phase? Are we going to start dieting again? I really want to get back on it, or I want to go into a building phase, or whatever that next phase of training is, they're ready to go after about 7 days, just because they've had a bit of a mental break. Some people take longer, some people have less. So that's how I would structure a diet break, as you said. And a lot of people, especially if they've got a lot of weight to lose, they try and do it all in one go. And that's a big mistake that they make, is they just then burn out at that 16-week mark. They lose momentum, they lose faith in the process, they fall off the wagon, and they overeat their way back up to where they kind of started, like very, very quickly. They don't have enough time to actually repair the metabolic damage that they've done from dieting for 12 to 16 weeks. So they'll put all the weight back on in 4 weeks, and then they need to diet again. But their needs in terms of calories are still lower, so they then have to diet on even lower calories. And this is where like yo-yo dieting over time can really, really fuck with somebody's ability to lose body fat, and why you can end up finding like guys and girls on like 1,000 calories a day, but they just don't seem to be able to drop any weight. And it's because they've spent so long in a deficit that their body's just fucked. So with those guys, the best thing to do is actually feed them like for a few months. Like I've sometimes got some of my best results by increasing somebody's food for like 3 months and then going into a dieting phase when they have got like over 2,000 calories, over 3,000 calories to be playing with. In terms of the guys that have checked in this week, most of my guys have continued to lose again. I think the people that came in were just in better places kind of when they started. They weren't running deficits, etc. Just having that structure, having that accountability, doing the 4 sessions a week. Like, it's just, what doesn't happen is what most people do is they train relatively hard. They eat relatively well Monday to Friday, and then on the weekends they just hit the fuck it button and just they undo all the work that they've done because they're just in that state of balance, and that's why they're slowly putting weight on.
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, I'm there as well. And like my wife calls me out on it a lot, and she's totally right. Like all the time, like, yeah, it's just you do great during the week, and then every like come Friday night, I'm like, right, it just starts. It's like, geez, I need to, you know, and I know this. It's tough. Like, I need to.
The thing is, it's the same for me in off season. Like, I will put weight on, and when I don't have a coach, it isn't good quality weight either. Like, I know for a fact, like, if I need to be ready for a deadline, I just have to have that accountability of a coach. Like, I know how to run a deficit. I know how to train. I just need that person where I'm filling in that form and that person's checking in on me to check that I'm doing what I'm saying I'm doing. To be honest, I could just get one of my mates to just, right, send this form and keep me accountable. It'll probably cost me less money. But so yeah, the major changes that for the guys that have stalled for me has been increasing activity. So we added in, like, for people to put their average steps on this week. That's something that wasn't on the first week's check-in form that we added into week 2, so we can see where people's activity are. So it's either increasing steps by, like, I think 2,000 steps I was aiming for, or, as you said, throwing in a singular session of cardio. So I think it was either 2 bouts of 30 minutes steady state, like with the heart rate between 130 and 140, or a 40-minute hit session, or I think that's what it was in the just because, again, we've got 8 weeks. It's short, sharp. Like, if somebody was with me and I knew I was going to be coaching them for 6 months, I probably wouldn't jump straight in at an hour of cardio. We'd have probably tapered it up slightly more. But these guys have stalled whereas everybody else has continued to lose. So we need to have that little bit more of a kickstart into the system rather than just kind of the gentle pushes that we've kind of been doing so far. But as Dan mentioned before, like, I'm a believer in, I want to keep food as high as possible for as long as possible. I'd rather get you moving more, especially while everybody's got like body fat to lose. You've got energy there stored. So we want to keep your like energy in as high as we can and slowly increase the energy out until it's not really viable to increase the energy out. Or we just pull a few calories. If somebody was eating 2,000 calories before they came into this challenge, we bump them up to 2,500 and they start losing and then they stop. It's very easy to pull those calories kind of like back out. But I'd always, before pulling food, I always try to get them doing either more steps or just jump them on a bike if they don't have enough time to be doing more steps.
Yeah. I mean, I think cardio almost became like a dirty word a couple of years ago. Like, the only way to get lean with the new flexible dieting lifestyle was weights only, and that was it. And it's like, yeah, but people started running some serious deficits as well. But like, I don't just think cardio is good for fat loss. It does a lot more for you as well in terms of heart recovery. I mean, the research is now saying, I think it's always been saying, don't worry about interfering with your gains, do your cardio. If you've got the time to do it. Yes, I mean, if you're, say a bodybuilder powerlifting, you have to train 5 times a week, but you can only get into the gym to powerlift, do powerlift. But for most people, feel fit, feeling a bit better, if you have the option to train, that 5th day or a 6th day, throw in a cardio session. It's like just a bit of hit. It doesn't even have to be complicated. Just get the heart rate up. It's so good for you. And I swear that stuff just stays with you when you really have it for a while. Like, I don't do too much these days, but I would back myself in a couple of sessions purely from the years of doing it from rugby and all that. Like, it's still kind of in the background. I mean, yeah, I'm not nowhere as fit as I used to be, but I'm sure I could still get there if needed to be. But in terms of like longevity, yeah, get your cardio on. One of the first things they said to me with my back was you need to get some steady state cardio and just keep the blood moving, oxygenate the blood and get it moving around your body. It really helps recovery. So I was like, all right.
I was going to say, it's one of the best things you can do for your recovery as well. Just get blood moving through the systems that are sore. I managed to get a really good deal on, like, I've looked up my spin bike. So if I tried to sell my spin bike now, I'd be looking at asking, in lockdown, people were asking like £500-600 for it. I managed to pick it up for like 75 quid off Facebook Marketplace in the good old days, before everything was, before gym equipment was like fucking rocking horse shit. But yeah, somebody clearly got that from like a gym that was closing down. Like, it's a proper like heavy duty spin bike. I was like, I saw that come up. It was in Sleaford, which is a 30-minute drive away. I was like, nah, I'm borrowing your car. I'm off to get this. I'm not letting this one pass me up, because I bought one of those like shitty spin bikes that are like 100 quid off something like Very or something, and literally as I was on it, I was like, this feels like it's going to fall apart. Like, even at like 80 kilos, I was like, if anybody got on this and they were 100 kilos, like, I would not be trusting it.
Yeah, it kills you now. Are you Gucci?
It's my coccyx. I come off that spin bike after like 40-45 minutes on it, and I've got the gel seat on it. I've got another thing that sits on it, and yeah, just my coccyx are just like,
you know what they say. But bodybuilders, large coccyx.
Oh, okay. At the end of the day, it ain't doing anything. There's hardly any blood supply going
black guys in their large coccyx.
Coccyx.
Coccyx?
Okay, so that's definitely right. That leads us into the final point. So,
about what? About Don and his coccyx.
Yeah.
Coccyx.
We were trying to think of a way to commemorate us hitting the 2,000 downloads mark, and we think we should make a t-shirt for the podcast. Now, we need your
if
help.
You think about it, if we put all of the podcasts in one place, you could say, like, because it's like, loads of tracks, it'd be an album, right?
Yeah.
So we could have an anal bum party. Dan and Don's anal bum party. Hashtag Dan and Don's anal bum party. Design your own t-shirt.
Yeah. So, right, guys, we need you to give us your favorite quotes from the show. So anything that either myself, Dan, or Rachel has said that has particularly resonated with you, that would fit well on a t-shirt. And you need to either go to the Instagram, which is the Garage Athlete Show on Instagram, and I will put as I put this episode out, I will put the t-shirt competition quote thing there. So go and comment underneath it. If we don't remember saying what you say that we've said, we may ask you which episode it was on. So it's going to be testing your knowledge. And this just gives all the new listeners, like, if you want to go back and listen to some of our amazing episodes, because there's over 50 of them now. There's over 50 hours of content of myself and Dan and Rachel just filling your ears full of garage gym knowledge. But
filling your ears with lots of knowledge. I mean, hopefully you've learned something, because I've learned some things from the guests we've had on, and we've had a lovely time. You know, we've had some lovely guests, and we've all had a lovely time. So yeah, that's
And that is where we're gonna end it.
mint. Right. Peace out. You can find me on the Instas at Barbells and Beans. You can find me on Facebook at Dan Frazier. I think I'm Dan Frazier 1. I don't know. Whatever, you know, I don't know. I don't know if I'm private or not. You can find me there. You can find me hanging out in the dungeon of Home Gym UK. And you can find me. I want to do a trip to Somerset soon and tour the cider fields because I bloody love cider at the moment. There's another thing, Lidl do a great cider, by the way. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Yeah. I can't wait till I can drink. I've had like one beer since I started prep, which was in January, something like that.
You've done awesome, mate. You've really done well. Really.
Yeah, you can find me at DeegePT on both Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, we will see you guys next week.
Take it, dude.
All right, bye.
Bye.